This video will be a quick introduction to how to use the Google Docs coursework submission features in ManageBack. This feature allows you to use a Google Doc as a template for your students and give them each their own copy that they can collaborate on. This is really similar to the feature in Google Classroom where you can give students their own version of a Google Doc. They can work on their template or their doc directly in ManageBack or work on it in Google Drive. As a teacher, you can see the document and give feedback to the student as they work on it, either as Google Doc comments, directly writing on the doc, or even using the ManageBack annotation tool. Once the students have completed their task, they can use the Submit Coursework button to submit their work. You can also submit the work for the students. Once a doc's been submitted, it's really easy to reset or unsubmit the doc so that students can work on it again or make improvements. This means that your students can hand in a draft, you can comment or annotate the document and hand it back to the students to improve and resubmit. Once the coursework has been submitted, the teacher can grade the submission using the rubric and the comments box. It's a really cool feature. This feature of ManageBack works a little bit differently to Google Classroom. When you click on the Add New Template button and you go to choose a file, it doesn't actually look into your Google Drive. It looks into a generic ManageBack Google Drive with a couple of folders, the DP Templates folder and the MYP Templates folder. So what you need to do is to actually star these folders so that you've got easy access to them. The easiest way to do that is to click on the links below to open up the MYP Templates and the DP Templates. Once you're in the MYP Templates, it's just a matter of starring or add to starred. Once you've done that, you'll always be able to access it by using the starred feature of Google Drive. And here we can see in the MYP templates that there's already a folder for each of the subjects. Then it's as simple as finding the document that you'd like to make a template. What I like to do is to make a copy of this document. So I'm going to call this, instead of Win at the Fair, ManageBack Template, Win at the Fair. And what I can do straight away is, rather than just save it in my teaching folder, I can keep going back, and when I get to this this section here where it's got My Drive, Shared Drive, etc., I can also access the starred. And in my starred section, I should now have the MYP templates. So the easiest way would be to add it directly to the math folder, and this is going to be a grade 7 template, so I'll add it to the grade 7 folder. Now I'm making my copy in the grade 7 folder exactly where I want it. The other option is that once I've made my template, I can use the Move button and once again go back to the start of my Google Drive and use the Start option here to add it to the MYP templates in the correct folder. Now that you've put your template into the correct folder, you can start using it in ManageBack. When you use the Add New Template button, you just put the name of it, the details, and then you can assign it to students individually or assign it as a collaborative copy. You can also assign it to individual students if you like. When we select the Choose File button and we go to My Drive, we can now search through the MYP Templates folder. I'm going to go to Math, grade 7, find my template and submit. I'll click on Save Changes and I can see here that it's ready to go and be used in my task. When I select the Create Task button, as per usual, my task will be added to my calendar and the student's calendar. When I look at the task and I scroll to the bottom, I can see all my students, and if I click on their name, I can actually see a copy of their Google Doc or their template. For students to access the template, all they need to do is to go to the class and select the task. It can be done via the calendar or their upcoming tasks. Once they've selected the task, they click on the template and it opens up a Google Docs editing window in ManageBack. They can directly add their information or work on their task, or if they want to, they can use the Open button to open up in a Google Drive window. When the students have finished their coursework or submitted, they can click on the Submit Coursework button. At any time when the students are working on their doc, the teachers can always go back to the task, select the student, and see their work. If they like, I can highlight anything and add a comment directly within ManageBack. I can also submit the coursework for the students. You need to realize that also when the due date comes around, the coursework will automatically be submitted, so students can't work on their tasks after the due date. If you want to change that, you can undo it or change the due date. One thing you might like to do is get your students to hand in a draft. You can do this by using the Submit Coursework button. This will mean that the students can no longer edit their Google Doc. Here you can still highlight and add comments, or you can actually now use the annotation tool. As per its name, the annotation tool allows you to annotate directly onto a doc. You can draw on the document, you can add a text box to a document, plus a whole heap of other features and even adding images. The students only see the annotations when they're logged into ManageBack. They're not actually stored on the original Google Doc. But remember, you can always just add comments or write directly on the student's Google Doc. Once you've given the student their feedback, you might like to send it back to them and give them permission to start editing again. You do this by using the Reset button. Then the work goes from being handed in to in progress. When you've finally finished and the students have submitted their final draft, it's really easy to use the box on the side to start scoring with each criteria and giving them a comment. This has been just a brief introduction to using templates on ManageBack. Remember, you can always find this video and a heap others on the IT at ASW page if you go to the resources section and click on the ManageBack button.